I just fade away. Fade away. I feel away. I think.
All right, math morning again. Mr. Durkis, back at it again. Today we're doing a big time lesson. We're graphing using slope-intercept form. This is a crucial skill for algebra. We're going to be doing it all year long, so you got to make sure you really get this one down. Slope-intercept form. This is big time. All right, let's go. All right, when we talk about slope-intercept form, it is this form right here. Y equals mx plus b. There's two parts to this form. The first one is the slope. And if you remember from the last lesson, the m equals slope. So this m right there, that is the slope. And when we think of slope, it's interchangeable with the rate of change. So how frequently is something changing? Also with slope, we think about rise over run. That's going up and then going right. Another way to think about this, rise, that is the y's. So the y's are on the top, and we put the x's on the bottom. So rise over run, the y's over the x's. And down here, it's not just the y's, this little triangle, that means a delta, that means the change in y. And we had this formula. To show the change in y, we did y2 minus y1. And on the bottom, we did x2 minus x1. So these are really important things to remember about slope. Now let's talk about y-intercept over here. So y-intercept, that is this part over here. That is the b. That is the starting point or the initial value. So a real life example, if you're selling cakes and you already have 5 cakes, but then you start making 3 cakes every hour, the starting point was that 5 cakes that you started with. So the initial value starting point is the y-intercept. It's also where the line crosses the y-axis. So the vertical line that looks like this, that's the y-axis. Wherever it crosses, that's the y-intercept. So you might see a line like this, bam, right there, y-intercept. Lastly, the x-coordinate is always 0. So if you're trying to solve it algebraically, you might have 0 and then 5. In this case, the x-intercept is 5. So when you have slope-intercept form, you have slope, you have the y-intercept. These are going to be numbers, the m and the b. So slope might be 3 over 5, and the y-intercept might be 2. And the y's and the x's, we don't use numbers for those. They're always changing. They could be any number. So in the formula, an example might be y equals 3x plus 5. The slope is a number, the y-intercept is a number, and we have the x and the y there as variables. Okay, let's try some problems. Alright, so we're going to graph some lines using slope-intercept form. I wrote it right here, so we always have it. Let me take out a pen. Hang on one second. Purple. Okay. So we're looking at this equation right here. Y equals 2x minus 4. The first thing I normally do is find the y-intercept. So in this case, that's right here. The b is negative 4. That means on this graph, this is the y-axis. I need to go down to negative 4. So I put a dot right there. After that, I look for the slope, which is m, right there. In this graph, the m is 2, right? Bam, right there. So 2 is also the same as 2 over 1. Any number you can divide by 1 and it's going to be that same number. So the slope is really 2 over 1. So what I do, I start at the y-intercept, and this is telling me they're both positive, so I have to go up 2 to the right 1. So I start here, up 1, 2 to the right 1. I put a dot there. And then I do the same thing. Up 2 to the right 1. up 2 to the right 1, up 2 to the right 1. You put as many dots as you can on the graph, and then you use a ruler or some straight edge and you connect them together. Let me see how I do. That's not bad. Not bad. So there we go. And again, I started with the y-intercept, and then I used the slope, and I put as many dots as I could on the graph. Alright, this one over here. This can mess people up a little bit, so we gotta pay close attention to this. So the y-intercept in this one is 4. It says plus 4, so that means I go to the y-axis, I find positive 4, and I put that right there. Now this slope is negative. It says negative 5 over 4. What I like to do is just put the negative on the top number of the fraction, on the numerator. Negative 5 over 4. You can do that. You can also put it on the bottom, but I like to keep it that way. This tells me the rise. If I have a negative rise, that means I'm really going down. So I have to go down 5 and to the right 4. Alright, so I start here, I go down 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and to the right 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. There we go. I only have 2 dots right here. That's all I need to draw a straight line. And no more will fit on this graph, so I can just connect these two with a straight line. Let's see how I do. That's not bad at all. Alright, and just to check too, this is a negative slope. We have a negative number in the front, and so my slope, I should be going downhill. From left to right, I'm going downhill. This one over here is a positive slope, so from left to right, I'm going uphill. That's the easy way to check. If you graph a line and look and it's positive, my slope should be positive. If yours is not, then you probably did something wrong, and you can go back and try to fix it. Same with this. If you have a negative slope, you should be going downhill. Alright, this y equals mx plus b. What? There is no y equals mx plus b. This is a special case. This says x equals 4. So what I do, I go to the x-axis, and that equals 4. This tells me that x is always going to be equal to 4. So if you see this, x equals a number, is going to be a vertical line where x equals whatever number it is. In this case, it's 4. So I go to x equals 4, and I draw a vertical line. Alright. We're going to get a little crazier over here. So let's give these ones a shot. And so these aren't written in your notes. You can write down these equations. So this says y equals negative 1 over 4x plus 3. So again, we go to the y-intercept first. That's 3. So I start here. I go up 1, 2, 3. And this slope is negative, so I know I need to be going downhill. And it's negative 1 over 4. So the top number tells me, do I go up or down, and how many? I'm going down 1. So I go down 1. And the bottom number tells me to go to the left or the right, and it's positive, so I'm going to the right 4. So I go down 1 to the right 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then I connect my line, and my 2 dots. Let me try that again. And you know what? There's 2 points. I can actually put one over here. If you go down 1 to the right 4, that means you can go the opposite way. Up 1 to the left 5. Up 1. Sorry, did I say 5? Up 1 to the right 4. Did I say right 4? Up 1 to the left 4. It's not my night tonight. Up 1 to the left 4. There we go. So now I can connect these 3 dots. Put the arrows on the end. That tells me it goes on forever. And there it is. My y-intercept is 3 and the slope is negative 1 over 4. This one over here, this confuses people sometimes too. I know the slope is 1 over 4, but it doesn't have a y-intercept. It would really be plus 0. That means the y-intercept will be right here in the middle, where y equals 0. So the starting point is right there, and the slope is 1 over 4. That means I go up 1, to the right 4. Up 1 to the right 4. That also means I can go down 1 to the left 4, down 1 to the left 4. So I have 3 nice dots right there. You only need 2 though. And then I'll connect them. I missed right there. Let me try that again. Alright. That's a little bit better. And you can use a ruler, the side of your paper, make sure you have a straight line. So I have this. My intercept is 0, my y-intercept, and the slope was up 1 to the right 4. This one over here, we have y equals 3 minus x. If you notice, they're not in the right order. So in this case, this number right here would be my y-intercept, and this would be my slope. So my y-intercept is 3, so I'll go up 1, 2, 3. I put that right there. And this is negative x. So if you have negative x, that really means negative 1x. And if you have negative 1, that really means negative 1 over 1. Because when you put slope on a graph, you really need to make it a fraction so you know the rise and the run. So if I have negative 1 over 1, that means I start here. I made the top number negative, so I go down 1. And then I go to the right 1. Down 1 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 to the right 1. I can also do the opposite, right? You can kind of see these dots going up. I can go up 1 to the left 1. Up 1 to the left 1. I put as many dots as possible, and then I connect them with a line. Boom. Done. I can double check. This slope is negative, so this line is negative, it's going downhill. This slope is positive, is going up. This line's negative, is going down. Alright, that looks good to me. This time, instead of me giving you the equation and making the line, we're going to do the opposite. The line is already there, and we're going to find the equation. So, slope-intercept form, y equals mx plus b. I need to find the y-intercept, which is b, and the slope, which is m. So I think the y-intercept is a little bit easier to find. Here's the y-axis. Where does it cross? It looks like it's crossing right there. And that equals the negative 1, because I start here, I go down 1, so my y-intercept is negative 1. Now I need to find the slope. Now just looking at this, is it going to be a positive or negative slope? It's going to be a negative slope because it's going downhill. So I'm just going to start off by putting a negative sign down here. So what I need to do are find some points that are intersecting this line with these grid lines. So let's see, it looks like right there it does. And maybe right there. Oh, right there I meant. Yeah. Alright, so if I do this, it looks like to get from here to that point, I went down 1, which is negative 1, and to the right 3. Is it the same over here? I go down 1 to the right 3. Yeah. So the slope, the rise, was negative 1, and the run going to the right is 3. So b equals negative 1, the slope equals negative 1 over 3. So if I write the equation, we have y equals mx plus b. I keep the y. My slope is negative 1 over 3. Negative 1 over 3. I put the x. And my b is negative 1. So instead of plus b, I write minus 1. So there's my equation right there. Bam. And the check, right? There's the y-intercept, negative 1. The slope is negative 1 over 3. Negative 1 over 3. Cool. Good. Alright, this one over here, we have a special case. So let's see if we can figure it out. We have b, the y-intercept, and m is the slope. So the y-intercept over here, well, this right there, it is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the y-intercept is 5. Now the slope, that is how much I go up or down divided by left or right. So rise over run. I'm not really going up at all, right? I have to go only left and right. So to go up, if I don't go at all, I put a 0. And left to right, let's say I go up 0 to the right 1. Up 0 to the right 1. So I can just write 0 over 1, and that really equals 0. So my slope is 0. And if you remember from the last video, a horizontal line has a slope of 0. So if I wrote this equation, I can say y, again, equals mx plus b. Y equals, the slope is 0, so 0x. The y-intercept is 5 plus 5. And it simplifies. 0x is just 0, so this is really y equals 5. Bam. There we go. This one over here is another special case. Alright, so let me write down the y-intercept and the slope. Does this cross the y-axis at all? No, it never actually touches it. So I'm going to write none. There is no y-intercept. It never crosses it at all. And the slope, so I go up 1, but I don't go to the left or right. So I go up and down, but I don't go to the left or right. So I could say the rise is 1, and the run, because I'm not going left to right, is a 0. And that means undefined. Undefined. Because if you have 0 on the bottom, it is undefined. So what this will be, if you have a vertical line like this, there is no y-intercept, there is no slope, so it's going to be x equals whatever number this is. And what number is x right here? -1, -2, -3, -4. So this one, x equals -4. Bam, boom, pow. I want to show you a way to remember these too. So I'm going to write hoy. In Spanish, hoy. So if you have a horizontal line going left to right, horizontal, you're going to have a 0 slope. The O is really a 0. So your slope will be 0. And it's going to say y equals. So y equals something. In this case, we had y equals 5. So if you remember hoy, horizontal, 0, y equals. That will help you remember this part right here. This one over here is vertical, so I'm going to say vux. Vux. So the V stands for a vertical line. U, excuse me, is the slope. That is an undefined slope. Undefined. And your answer will look like this, which is x equals. So x equals whatever number it crosses the x-axis. So these are two ways that you can remember how to write the equations for a horizontal line and a vertical line. The last one, so if you have an equation and it's not in slope-intercept form, it's not in y equals mx plus b, how do we graph it? Well, one way is changing it back into slope-intercept form. We did this in a previous lesson, solving for y. So let's do it right now. So this one, 2y equals 6x minus 8. I can always draw a line like this. This is 2 multiplied by y, so I need to do the opposite, which is divide by 2. Those cancel, and then I need to divide everything over here by 2. This side on the left, I'm left with just y. Over here, 6x divided by 2 is 3x. Negative 8 divided by 2 is negative 4. So I have y equals 3x minus 4. Now I just graph it. The y-intercept is negative 4. So that's right there. And the slope is 3. So that means really 3 over 1. 3 is the same as 3 over 1. So I start here. The rise is 3. 1, 2, 3. And the run is 1. 1. So I go up 3 to the right 1, up 3 to the right 1. Once I get my points like that, I just connect all the dots. Bam. There we go. A line graphed. Alright, this one over here. I'm going to solve for y again, so I can put it in the y equals mx plus b. So I'll draw this line. I want to get y by itself, so I'm going to get rid of this 4x. There's no sign over here, but it's a positive 4x, so I have to do a minus 4x on both sides. These cancel, and I'm left with negative 3y. Negative 3y. You always got to remember this sign right there. And that equals, well, I have a 9 and a 4x. I can't combine them, so I'm just going to write the negative 4x first. And then this is 9 is positive, so I can write plus 9. Now I want to get y by itself. So this is negative 3 multiplied by y. I have to do divide by negative 3. Divide by negative 3. Divide by negative 3. This cancels. And so I'm left with y equals negative 4 divided by negative 3. A negative divided by a negative becomes a positive. So 4 over 3 x. 9 divided by negative 3. A positive divided by a negative is negative. 9 divided by 3 is 3. So there's my equation. And I can put it on. The y-intercept is negative 3. I put that right there. And the slope is 4 over 3. So I go up 4 to the right 3. So I start my intercept. I go up 4. 1, 2, 3, 4 to the right 3. 1, 2, 3. No more points will fit on here, so I can just connect these two dots. Bam. Bam. So that's it. Good luck with the packet. Good luck with the mastery check. Darkus out. So I started this video with a Kanye West song. So I'm going to end it with Kanye West's Face. Let's see.